Trinidad. Just what's the process like of getting ingrained into a new offense as quickly as you're having to, coming in the spring?
Yeah, coming in, I actually didn't come in this spring, but this summer.
But I meant after this portal, sorry.
Yeah. Obviously, learning a new system is going to be challenging at first. You're at your old school, you know the system, you've been in it for quite some time. But honestly, Coach Wise, Coach Judge, and Coach Kiffin did a great job, breaking it down for me, taking it slow, and just making it kind of easy for me, going over all the installs, and making sure that, I know everything and having great confidence moving forward.
What was your process in terms of choosing Ole Miss, and why come to Ole Miss when it seems like Austin's pretty established here?
Coming to Ole Miss, I feel like any school, you got to bet on yourself. You can't back down from competition. And when I came on my visit here, I felt like it was a great family atmosphere. Reminded me of my old school at Ferris State. The coaches, great with their team and great with their staff. And just coming here. Like I said, just betting on myself, putting my best foot forward, and being the best person and player that I can be for this team, no matter what role that is.
What do you consider your strengths as a quarterback?
I would say I'm a dual threat, a true dual threat quarterback. A lot of people think that I can just run, but I can also pass, and I do it both ways. Whether that's with my legs or with my arm, and have great guys around me, and have this explosive offense around me. I feel like that we can do great things this year.
Charlie said yesterday that at the early part you were still trying to kind of get your sea legs under you, so to speak, but the back half of camp so far you've kind of turned it on. Was there a moment you felt like stuff started clicking for you?
Yeah, at first, just trying to get in the groove of things, trying to get consistent in the offense, see how things time up for, how the receivers are and what coverages we have to read for certain plays. But yeah, it kind of took me a little bit, to get going and to feel comfortable in the pocket and to feel comfortable, throwing to the guys that we got. But no, yeah, like I said, Coach Wise, Coach Judge, and Coach Kiffin done a great job with, all the quarterbacks, getting us prepared for, our scrimmage and making sure that we have all the installs down.
What is that relationship like with Austin so far?
It's been great. We all bounce, ideas and what we see on the field, whether it's, coverages wise, hey, we think that you should have went here, or hey, this is what we thought or we saw, and it's been good. There's nothing but positivity in the quarterback room.
What's the difference in the athletes at Ferris State and here?
Ferris State is a powerhouse, Division II. There's always going to be differences, for each university. But I would just say, I guess the intensity in the front line and D line and the O line is probably the biggest, difference in that. But honestly, football is football. They play fast here at Ole Miss and we play fast at Ferris State. So there's gonna be differences wherever you go, but honestly, football is just football.
Did the staff share a plan for you as far as how to get you on the field or how to develop you and things like that over this time? Like they said earlier, Austin's established. That really kind of resonated with you when you were making this decision?
No, there hasn't been any new packages for me or whatnot, but they're just going to put me in the best position possible for execute the whole offense. They're not really trying to narrow anything down for me, and just like I said, making sure that I know the installs and making sure that if my name gets called up there, that I'm ready to execute.
Trinidad, we've heard nothing but great things about the receivers room. Just what's it been like working with them, and how has it been different from your previous school?
It's different everywhere. I would just say the attention to detail that Ole Miss receivers have here. They've had great receivers in the past, like AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, and Trey Harris last year, for instance. I would just say the attention to detail and the savvy and the knowledge that they have, is great for us quarterbacks because we have a lot to think about when we go out in the field. But for having our receivers to know what they know and to see like, hey, they read our coverages, it's great that they're on the same page and that their heads up when it comes to stuff like that.
You obviously led Ferris State to a national championship last year. Do you feel like that what you learned in that run can help here with this group?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I know Ole Miss has been chasing the national title, for years, and an SEC title for years, and they brought me on board to, be the best person and player that I can be, and like I said, I'm just gonna put my best foot forward. in whatever role that is, you know, to help this team win. And I'll do whatever it takes for this team to win. So,
More questions? Good. Okay.
thanks,
you.
guys.